I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm leaving Canada in 11 days. After living here for 24 years, me and my brother have finally decided to move to Paraguay. In this video, I'll share the real reasons behind the decision and specifically why we chose Paraguay out of all the different countries. This wasn't an easy decision, but it was necessary. So let's talk.
Sweet, so I thought I'd just kind of bring it here on the computer. So here we go. First reason number one, the cost of living. And I think that's just, obviously if you're going to move anywhere in South America, it's going to be cheaper than Canada. But I don't even think it's because it's cheaper. I just think because it's getting crazy high expensive in Canada. Like here, I got a breakdown here through ChatGPT. So overall cost of living, right? So on average, for one person, it's going to be around $700 a month. USD, and in Canada 2400. So this is probably more so like 3K Canadian, 3.5K, and 1 to 1.2 Canadian, right? So just that alone, it's literally 2.5 to 3 times more expensive to live in Toronto than Paraguay. Obviously, Paraguay is in the middle of nowhere. So for most people, that probably isn't what they want to do. But for me, since I work remote, it's perfect, right? I'm literally just taking all the expenses that I would be spending on useless stuff like rent and food and all that stuff, and just putting it towards investing it in growing my own business, right? Which is amazing, right? Like here, housing, 300 to 400 a month versus 1400 to 1500. And low key, I think these are low. It's probably more so like 500 to 700, and then here it's probably more so like 1500 to 2K high key. So I think it is kind of undercutting it. Food as well, it's cheaper there, right? So overall, everything is just cheaper there. Summary income, again, I work remote, so that's not a big thing for me. But overall, you're just paying 2 to 3 times lower. Especially if you're someone that works remote or wants to work remote, why would you pay more living in a country that's, I didn't even talk about taxes, by the way. The taxes in Canada are like 30-40%, and in Paraguay it's 0% if if you make money outside of the country. I wouldn't recommend going to Paraguay if you're going to be working locally, just because at that point it doesn't make sense. So that's basically the first reason. The cost of living is just way cheaper. The second reason is the weather, right? Canada, this is Canada weather, bro. Obviously it's not year round like this, but I've lived here for 24 years, and especially the past few years, it just feels depressing. Like my mood is just down. Maybe because I'm inside all the time and I just don't want to go out because of, it's being cold and all. But honestly, it's just not for me. Like I went to Panama last year for a year and it was warm and it was just nice, bro. I was super productive during that time. So I think going to Paraguay is going to be similar to that, where I'm going to be able to get more done. There's going to be less distractions, and I think my mood is going to be overall better just because I'm in a warmer setting. And that's what you get with Canada, right? There's nothing we can really do about it. And I think that just comes to a personal preference at the end of the day. So if you want something a bit warmer, maybe going to South America could be for the move for you as well. But that's kind of like the second reason why I'm planning on leaving Canada and going to Paraguay. The third is the culture and society. So this one's a pretty big one. Honestly, I think especially with the West and how things are going, I think a lot of people are seeing just the downfall of how society is going. And honestly, just people in general are less traditional, and it's all about this hustle culture. Nobody has time to really enjoy each other's company, and the dating scene is just absolutely horrendous with all the women on Instagram, on OnlyFans, all of this garbage nonsense that I just absolutely hate. And going somewhere to like Paraguay, which I don't know if I'm gonna meet a girl in Paraguay because I'm Polish background, like my parents were born in Poland, and honestly what's going on in Poland is kind of nice as well. So I was thinking of low-key going to Poland to find a girl. But honestly, I don't know. The culture, society, how things are being run right now, it just seems like it is not the area I want to be living in. I think the U.S. obviously could, the U.S. is the same thing honestly as Canada. The only thing that I would say is good about the U.S. is people go to the U.S. to make money, right? So if you're there to make money, I respect it. But luckily we live in a digital age and you can make money from wherever in the world. So yeah, I just don't like how everything's going, especially with all the politics, all of that stuff. I don't really go into politics too much personally, just because I'm like, that has really no control over me at the end of the day. Like there's going to be someone in power. They're going to make rules. They're going to make laws. I'm going to do the best as I can, and I'm going to try and do control as much as I can control, which is, what I do with my life, which is how much money I make, the skills I know, and the people I know. So I'm going to try and move somewhere where apparently there's a lot of nomads in Paraguay who have the same mindset and who really are looking to do similar things, which is like, I want to connect and network with those types of people. Whereas here in Canada, it's like, I don't really want to be friends with these people here in Canada. Obviously, I got my homies and stuff, but there's a limit to it. So that's the third reason. The fourth reason is the jobs. And this one, I wouldn't say it's personally for me specifically, but I would say this is more so for people in general who live in Canada, who are thinking, who maybe clicked on this video, like, hey, maybe I want to move out of Canada as well. And the job market is complete dog shit. Like, if you see this right here, youth in Canada, age 15 to 24, historically tight labor, 25, 26. Unemployment rates are at an all-time high, 14.7%, right? So things are just downhill for people who are looking for jobs and employment. Like, literally everybody I know who graduated university, almost all of them are like unemployed, which is like, I don't understand. You spend all this money on schooling and then you have so much trouble to find a job. Like, to me, that just makes no sense, and why entrepreneurship is the best thing anyone can do. Like, the only job I would recommend anyone getting is a remote sales job. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be learning such an insane skill, sales. Like, there's literally no reason not to learn sales. Because even if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're going to have to learn how to sell. So I just think the job market is absolutely dog shit in Canada. And a lot of people are going to the US for jobs, right? So that's probably your two options. Go to the States, move out of Canada, go to the States, get a job there. Or get a remote job and stack some cash, learn some skills, and start your own business. So those are like the four main reasons I say why I'm leaving Canada specifically, and I guess to go more into why Paraguay specifically, right? I think a lot of people really are asking me, Tim, why the hell are you going to Paraguay out of all the different places, right? So let me put it out for you here. Paraguay, there's a few different reasons for Paraguay, and I kind of touched on some of them there, but the main one is the 0% taxes, because I'm thinking on a long-term basis here. And the best thing about Paraguay is if you make money outside of the country, like remote, then you don't pay any taxes in the country, which is like insane. Paraguay and Panama are the two South American countries you can do that with. And the best part about Paraguay as well is one time every 3 years, which basically means you only have to be there once every 3 years to keep your residency, which means you're able to keep that 0% tax. So you don't even have to live there long term. I'm going there right now for 3 months minimum to get my residency, but if I want to stay there long term, I can, but it's not mandatory, which is the best thing, right? I'm not giving up my Canadian citizenship, by the way. So for you guys wondering, like, hey, am I completely leaving Canada? No, I'm still going to have my Canadian passport. I'm just not going to be considered a tax resident in Canada. I do have to pay an exit tax, which, there's a price to pay with whatever decision you make in life, but I'm totally fine with that. I know right now it's a small price to pay, and long term I'm going to make a lot more money and going to be saving a lot more money, because taxes in Canada is like, what, 30-40%? Not including all the other taxes they have, the carbon tax, I don't know what other, they have all these HST, GST, all of the sales tax. It's crazy. And it really stacks up to like 40-50% realistically if you look at it on a worldwide basis, but I mean Canadian basis. But yeah, for me, those are like the two main reasons. And the third is it's in the middle of nowhere. And you might be like, Tim, why the hell would you want to be in somewhere in the middle of nowhere? Because the only people I'm going to meet there are, one, locals who are super traditional from what I've seen online, and two, a lot of entrepreneur, business-minded salespeople like myself. That's like amazing. Like, who's going to fly 11 hours for maybe like a travel vacation? Like, most people in the US who want to travel, they go to Mexico, right? They don't want to fly like 11 hours. Obviously, I'm not saying there's no tourist in Paraguay, but it's super rare because it's such a long flight away. So the only people I'm going to be meeting there are people that are super serious about business and values as well, which I'm excited for.
and I think it's going to be super amazing. Now, I do want to mention one thing. Obviously, I named all these great things about moving to Paraguay, why I'm leaving Canada, but I do want to mention one of the probably bad things about moving to Paraguay, or there's a couple, but again, no matter where you go, nothing's going to be perfect. And here are a few of the things about Paraguay that you should have in mind if you are thinking of going there. One, it's a Spanish speaking, right? And you're like, Tim, how is that a bad thing, right? Well, for me, I don't speak any Spanish, so it's going to be a bit cooked. I'll probably have to learn while I'm there. Right, which is, again, you gotta, which each their own. Like, some people tell me, like, hey, Tim, how is that a bad thing that they speak Spanish? Well, for me, it's a bad thing because I don't speak Spanish. So that's why I consider it a bad thing. I'm not saying speaking Spanish is a bad thing. I don't speak Spanish, so that's why it's a bad thing. The second thing that I would say is bad is the roads. They have the roads there in Paraguay are pretty bad from what I've seen. So they flood easily. I think they get like a one flood a month. That's what I read online. Obviously, I won't know until I get there. But the thing is, the Ubers are super cheap, so I don't even think I'm going to get a car while I'm there, right? So the roads aren't the best. It's still, again, it's still a developing country. And then the third thing, what was the third thing I had? Well, the third thing I had specifically, was there anything else? I thought I had one more thing, but no, those are the main two I would say are the downfalls of Paraguay. Obviously, it's in the middle of nowhere, right? It's an 11-hour flight. But when you're there, it's totally chill. Other than that, no, I think everything else is pretty chill. The cost is low. The people are apparently great. The food is great. I forgot to mention that as one of the things as well. All the food in Canada and US, obviously not all the food, that's a super generalization, but the food is super processed and all these chemicals and all this stuff added to it. The food there is all natural in Paraguay, right? So I'm excited for that. I'm a big foodie. My brother's a big foodie. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to stop yapping. That's basically why I'm moving to Paraguay, leaving Canada. If you enjoyed this video, I'm going to be talking about more about how I make money remote, sales, all that stuff in future videos. If you have any questions specifically, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. And yeah,